Good morning. So we're going to be talking about types of informational text structure. So for each one, we're going to do the definition, some clues to look out for, what the visual aid would look like, and your examples. So we're going to talk about description first. So descriptive text or description text is just text that describes something. It gives you a main idea and details. This is kind of like the essays that we have you guys write, your expository essays. You choose a main idea and you write about it. So clues, look for adjectives. Big, dumb, hairy, stinky, awesome, fantastic, beautiful, smells nice, right? Look for adjectives, characteristics, like humans have 4 fingers and an opposable thumb. Humans all have a nose, right? Look for characteristics, things that describe them. Look for examples. If you're trying to plan or if you read something that is a descriptive text and you're trying to see, like mentally visualize what it should look like, you can draw your little circle. In here is your main idea. And then in these little branches, you would put your details. So an example would be Indiana is 200 pounds. He is a dog, or let's say he is a brown dog with a white star on the back of his neck. He is not smart, but very handsome. So I described Indiana. My main idea would be Indiana. My details, he's 200 pounds, a dog, brown with a white star on his neck, not smart, very handsome. So that is for description text. We're going to put a D like this. We're going to use that later in a little activity that we're about to do. Compare and contrast. So for compare and contrast, you're comparing two things. Compares two things. How they are alike and different. So your clues would be if it's talking about two things, so talks about two things, it's compare and contrast. Okay, if we're talking about SpongeBob and Squidward, they're comparing and contrasting 9 times out of 10. You could look for the words both, neither. You could look for same, different. A big part of this is just asking yourself, like, are they talking about how these two different things are similar or how they are different? and you're going to have your Venn diagram. So here is how they are the same. Thing 1, thing 2. So your example would be Miss C loves Mulan, but Samuel loves Moana. Miss C is a teacher, and Samuel is her student. Miss C is old, but Samuel is young. So we're comparing and contrasting here. We're talking about the difference between Miss C and Samuel. Miss C loves Mulan. She's a teacher. She is old. Samuel loves Moana. He's a student and he is young. Both are humans. So both of us are humans. And so for compare and contrast, we're going to label that as CC. Again, this is going to be important to us when we get to the very end. I'm going to hold this up like this for those of you that want to screenshot this. Okay. Now we have order and sequence. So for order and sequence, you're just telling things in order. So it's chronological order of events or a list of steps or procedures. So chronological order. A list of steps / procedures. So your clues, look for first, next, then, last. Your time order words, right? So look for words that are going to show you when something is happening. So look for things like order of events / steps. Is it a timeline? Your visual could be 1, 2, 3, 4. It could be this list of boxes. So this would be step 1, step 2, step 3. So for your examples, it could be a recipe, like we said, a timeline. You could be telling a story about how something happened. So telling a story from start to end. Next, we're going to talk, and for order and sequence, we're going to call that OS. Next, we're going to talk about problem and solution. So for problem and solution, it states the problem, states a problem, and how to fix it. States a problem and how to fix it. Your clues. So these clues are like super straightforward. Look for the problem. Look for the solution. So Miss C didn't sleep enough last night. That's my problem. Solution, go to bed earlier. Miss C has bad allergies. That's the problem. Solution, take allergy medicine. Or don't be around whatever you're allergic to, like gross cats. So your visual clue for problem and solution, your visual aid to help you keep track of it. Here you would put your problem. And then because sometimes it has more than one solution, you would have solution 1, solution 2, solution 3. So Miss C's allergic. She's having an allergy attack. She takes her medicine. She gets away from the cats. She cleans her house. Your examples. That was your example. So Miss C is allergic to cats. She takes allergy medicine. Avoids cats. And cleans daily. So that was problem and solution, and we're going to call that PS. Okay, we're going to back it up. If you guys want to screenshot it. Then we have cause and effect, and this is our last one before we do this activity right here. So, cause and effect. Oops, that's not brown. I lost my marker. Oh well. So we're going to talk about cause and effect. So, cause and effect is text that describes an event and what happens because of it. So, describes an event and what happens because of it. Describes an event and what happens because of it. Your clues. Look for the word because. Look for as a result. And then again, you guys, you have to just really use your thinking skills and look to see, do you see an event that is a cause and effects of it? Your visual, this is your cause. These are your effects. Effect 1, effect 2, effect 3. So cause and effects. And then think back to that story. Do you guys remember the lady that walked into Hastings, and when she was walking in, she pooped her pants and it fell out of her pants leg. And so she ran around the counter and left. She was like, hey, does anybody have some paper towels? And when somebody said, yeah, I do, she straight up dipped. Like, she was out of there. She was gone. Immediately after, this lady, pregnant, wearing flip-flops, walks in, kicks the poop. And a small child that's with her goes, ah, it's poop! So, my cause is old lady poops herself. She wasn't even old. She was like maybe 40. So we're just going to say lady poops herself. Hastings lady. So the first effect, she leaves, right? She does not want to be known as the lady that poops herself. She does not want to own up to that, so she leaves. Pregnant lady kicks it. Kicks the poop. Children scream. And then an effect that we didn't really talk about every time I've told this story is that Gonzo had to clean up the poop. Gonzo cleans it up. Which I think is really going above and beyond when, like, really you're just supposed to show up in, like, stock merchandise. You shouldn't have to clean up somebody else's poop, but it is what it is. So, cause and effect, we're going to put that as CE. All right, so if you want to screenshot cause and effect. So now we're going to go through each one of these. So the first one, and we're going to determine what type of text structure it would be. Squidward is sad, but SpongeBob is happy. So is it describing one thing? Is it comparing two things? So are we talking about two different things? How they're alike and different? Are we giving like a list of steps? Are we giving a problem and a solution? Or are we showing a cause and effect? The correct answer is we're comparing and contrasting because we're showing how two things are similar and different. So Squidward and SpongeBob. Squidward is sad, SpongeBob is happy. Bats are nocturnal. Are we describing one thing? Are we comparing two things, how they're alike and different? Are we giving a order and sequence? Are we giving a chronological list of steps or procedures? Are we showing how something happens in time? Like first bats are nocturnal, then bats do this. No, not really, right? Are we showing a problem and solution? Do we have a problem listed there? No. And are we showing a cause and effect? Do we say what the reason for bats being nocturnal is? No. So this is just description. We're talking about bats. They are nocturnal. First, put flour in a bowl. Next, add adobo, seasonal, garlic, salt, pepper, and cayenne. So, are we describing one thing? What would we be describing? Right? Are we only talking about flour? Are we only talking about one thing here? Are we comparing anything? I know we've got flour, adobo, seasonal, garlic, salt, pepper, and cayenne. Are we comparing those things? Are we putting something in order, like a list of steps? Like first do this, then do that, next do this, last do that. Are we giving like a timeline of something? Is it order and sequence? Are we showing a problem and solution? What would the problem be for here? There is no problem, right? Are we showing a cause and effect? Like, because I put flour into the bowl, I had to put adobo in it. No. So we are doing order and sequence. This is like a recipe for making some fried chicken, right? So, first, put flour in bowl. Next, add seasoning, right? The lake was polluted, so we took a field trip to clean it. Are we describing something? Are we going like in depth into how the lake is polluted? Are we comparing something? Are we comparing like the lake and the field trip? Are we ordering something? So first it's polluted, then we get on the bus, next we get off the bus. Is that what it's saying? Is it offering a problem and a solution? So the problem, the lake is polluted, the solution, we clean it up? Or is it showing a cause and effect? Because the lake is polluted, the effect is we have to clean it? Not necessarily, right? It's a problem and solution first and foremost. So problem, lake is polluted. That's the problem. Solution, field trip, clean it. So problem and solution. Last one, Miss C's shoe fell off, making her fall into Miss White. Are we describing something? Are we describing how clumsy I am right now? Not really, right? We're just telling what happened. Compare and contrast. Am I comparing Miss C and Miss White? No, I didn't say Miss C's shoe fell off, but Miss White was able to keep her shoes on her feet because she's a correct, proper adult, right? Am I ordering and sequencing anything? First, Miss C's shoe fell off. Then she slid into Miss White. Next, Miss White pulled her into her lap and started cradling her like a baby. We're not talking about that. Are we talking about a problem and a solution? The problem, my shoe fell off. The solution, I fall into Miss White? That doesn't make a lot of sense, right? I have a clear problem. My shoe's gone. Would the solution be that I fall? Or would the cause be that my shoe's gone and the effect is I fall into Miss White? So this would be cause and effect. So problem and solution and cause and effect can sometimes get a little bit tricky to think about or to differentiate between because they're both talking about one thing causing another, right? Problem causing a solution, cause causing an effect, right? The key difference is that for cause and effect, you don't necessarily have a problem, right? I do have a problem here. My shoe fell off, but you don't necessarily have a solution. I apologize. So you don't necessarily have a solution. My solution isn't to fall. It's just what happens because my shoe's gone. My solution would be to put the shoe back on or to wear properly fitting shoes, right? Or to maybe not dance in public and cause my shoe to fall. All right. I love you guys all very much. I miss you all very much. I hope to see you soon. Hope this helps. And if anybody wants a screenshot.